Hello everyone, welcome back to the Learning Curve SG podcast where we talk about anything and everything, not just regarding PE but also learning as well. So today we are very grateful and happy to have Mr. Khairul over here, who is a beginning PE teacher who just got posted to Peicai Secondary. And he will be sharing with us basically his experiences from the cross-level deployment course, which is also known as the CLDC, and how he has benefited from the experiences over there over the past 1 to 1.5 weeks. So first and foremost, thank you so much, Khairul, for joining me today in this episode. And I'm really glad that you are here today to generously share some of the experiences that you have garnered, and hopefully your experiences can be a form or a source of inspiration to the beginning PE teachers out there as well. So perhaps to start off, maybe could you share a little bit more of yourself and what actually inspired you to become a PE teacher before we go into the CLDC part?
Okay, first and foremost, thanks for having me here.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure for me to be here also to help one another. That's the whole purpose of this whole thing, right? Let's to begin with, to answer your question, introduction about myself. I am a chemistry graduate from NUS. So that took about 4 years before I decided to continue my journey and studies to NIE, where I took a diploma in education for physical education. Yes, but I would say that my journey to teaching is not a straightforward one, because before this, before I even entered NIE, I did a few jobs. For example, I did planner and a trainer, motivational speaker for schools, primary and secondary schools, under this motivational company, skills company.
Okay.
But I also did a few stints as a relief teacher at Tampines Meridian Junior College, where I was blessed to have learned a lot from the staff or my colleagues over there.
Okay.
Outside of education, outside of these ministries, I also actively volunteer with Mendaki, where I worked with and interact with youths under different programs. The reason why I engage with these youths is because I want to understand a little bit more about how different youths are handling life, how they are coping with their school, etc. So Mendaki was a suitable platform for me to actually get closer to them. But outside of all this, my hobbies, I would say a little bit about myself is I enjoy being active. I play different sports. I like to explore film photography. And I would also visit a lot of cafes. So these are my downtime activities.
Right, I see. And thank you for sharing, and I totally relate to you, because what got me started to be a teacher was also a relief teaching experience back at my alma mater, which is Montfort Secondary. And over there I enjoyed helping the students to learn, especially in math, because I was mainly a relief teacher for math, and I could see the joy in their learning when they were able to grasp some of the concepts which I guided them on. So that prompted me to want to sign up as a teacher, although I did a year of corporate job as well. But after a while, I thought the calling came because of my experience back then as a relief teacher back in Montfort. And I also, like you, like to play sports and games, and therefore, why not apply as a PE teacher? And that's how I got into the teaching service itself as well. So that's a little bit of me, which is somewhat similar to you as well.
Yes, we are very similar.
Okay, so I guess most of the people are like that, with some kind of experience with youth, and therefore the experience was good and they want to help youths even more. And therefore we joined the teaching service itself. Okay, so maybe moving on, can you share with us a little bit of your training background at NIE, and how has the cross-level deployment course, which is CLDC, supported your transition into your new posting at Peicai Secondary?
Okay, so in NIE, we are largely focused on our pedagogies, curriculum planning, as well as some form of class management. So we are focused more on that. But when I was doing my studies in NIE, I was specialized in primary school. So that was my program, as they call it. Yes. So while in NIE, even though we were able to learn all those three, I think it was still enriching because it helped me to actually manage the students better, understand how they will behave in class, and from their behavior, we can actually adopt the different strategies that we learn in NIE to actually help them grow in terms of skills, in terms of knowledge, in terms of their social interactions. So I would say that was still very useful. However, in CLDC, what's different was that CLDC serves as a bridge for participants like myself and my batchmates to actually understand a little bit more, a little bit deeper about the different age groups that we will be handling. So like I said, in NIE, we were largely specialized in primary school. So before attending this CLDC, most of us were a bit lost. We were not able to understand what are the differences between primary school and secondary school. So having this CLDC, it helped us a lot. Helped us in terms of, like I said, bridging and understanding how secondary school students behave, how they actually interact with their peers and as well as teachers. So one thing that I noticed is that when I attend the CLDC course, I noticed that in secondary school, they are largely focused on social interaction, how we interact with them, building the trust, building the bond with them, building the relationship with them. And that was the huge difference between primary and secondary school. Because in primary school, I find that enthusiasm, having a little bit of enthusiasm and having a good curriculum planning or lesson planning was enough to actually be justified as good teaching. But in secondary school, that is not enough. And forging a very strong relationship with the students is priority. It takes the forefront.
Thank you for sharing. And if I hear you correctly, you mentioned quite a bit about understanding of students. So at NIE, right, they talked about understanding the students first, but in theory. But with CLDC, right, you also talk about understanding, but you were given the chance during CLDC to really see how a teacher goes about doing that understanding of their students in actual lessons, so that the lessons run smoothly and the students can grow and develop according to what the lesson outcomes were supposed to be. And the crux of it is that, or the key difference, as you rightfully mentioned, between secondary school and primary school is that there is a need to build a very strong relation and bond between the students to gain their trust first, which requires a little bit more work on the teacher's part. Which I think I've shared with you before, is about investing a little bit of time to communicate with the students, to find out what are their likes, what are their dislikes, what are their learning needs. Maybe also talk a little bit to their form teachers or to contact their parents and understand what are the situations that's happening outside of school, so that you can better plan your lessons for secondary school youth as compared to primary school kids. Yeah, because I think for primary school, I think the key difference is that when the students come to the lesson, they're always enthusiastic, yeah, to see what the teacher has for them, and they're always very willing participants. But when you move up to secondary, things change a little bit due to their social development.
Yes.
Yeah, and that the extra step, we still need to understand the students, but the extra step is to communicate and build stronger bonds, stronger positive teacher-student relationship, so that you get better buy-in from the students, and you know how to plan more suitable activities for them also lah.
That's right.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, yeah, all right, let's go to your beliefs. Okay, may I know what are some of your initial beliefs in teaching before attending the 1.5 weeks, 2 weeks CLDC program? And have those beliefs actually changed a little bit after the CLDC?
All right. So before attending the CLDC, my beliefs in terms of teaching was that any lesson can be a good lesson as long as the teacher prepares well for the lesson. As you mentioned earlier, in primary school, students are very excited. They are very enthusiastic. They are just eager to play whatever the teacher has planned for them. And like you mentioned just now, you rightfully mentioned, they are willing participants. So before CLDC, I believe that having a very nice lesson plan, a very well-planned lesson with nice equipment, a lot of equipment, was enough to actually engage the students and also teach them well. However, after attending CLDC, I realized that the same would not apply to secondary school. Again, previously we mentioned about forging that strong relationship with the students. I find that this is most important because what happens is that in CLDC, I observe that students have their own ideas. They want to be heard. They want to be seen a little bit more. And they find that they need a little bit more push to be motivated in moving or participating in PE. So I still believe, my previous belief, I still believe that planning a lesson well, having a proper equipment is still important. But after CLDC, I find that my belief has expanded to a point that these are not enough to engage and enrich the students. More needs to be done. For example, just now you mentioned understanding their needs, understanding what they are feeling, because right now they are going through a lot of transition phases with, for example, like puberty and whatnot. So we need to really understand how they are feeling that at that moment of time, that period of time, so that we can actually not say cater, but help them to understand that everyone is working together. They are not to be judged, for example, and the teacher is there, is always there to actually educate and also help them.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Thank you, Khairul. Yes, we definitely need to have our plans for the lesson, but yeah, as I can see that your beliefs have expanded to include the need for us teachers to really understand our students better in secondary school. So, and on top of that, I can hear and I feel that you want to actually give our students a bit more autonomy to develop, okay, their own learning. Yeah, and in order to do that, I feel that you are probably more willing to give them more space and time to go through some thinking process, as well as to help one another, as you mentioned just now, during the learning process itself. So it's not just what teachers say, student do. Yeah, but it's teacher say, all right, student think through what the teacher has said, and then try out and explore the activities that you have planned for them. And if they have, maybe concerns and issues which they want to negotiate with you, as long as it's within the I think the lesson objectives and outcomes, I don't think you see a problem with that. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much. It's really, I think your beliefs have shifted to become even more developmental, to
Yes.
help the students to be more self-directed,
Yes.
yeah, and confident learners. Yeah.
All
Right.
right. That's
Thank
true.
you. But it won't be a easy journey. I think a lot of hard work has to be done as well, lah. So hopefully, things go out all right for you. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Then maybe let's dive into what are some of the strategies which you have actually picked up during the visit to the various schools. It can be pedagogy, it can be classroom management, or even workload management. Anything. What are some of the strategies that you picked up during those visits?
So, speaking of this, actually, during my practicum and even in NIE, myself and my friends have always been exposed to different types of approaches, different types of pedagogies, things like games concept approach, game-based approach. All these are ingrained in our head already because we are
yes, yes.
fresh grads,
Yes.
especially.
Yes.
But during the CLDC, I witnessed something even more interesting. Interesting to the sense that sometimes we don't need to be strict in our pedagogies in a sense where we have to follow it to the T. So some of the approaches that I observed that were very interesting to me were, for example, number one, the use of music. I wouldn't have thought that music would have helped to engage the class or help to actually motivate the class, because at times I do find that having music can be distracting, but through CLDC I saw that music was actually very useful. For once, using from the schools I visit, they use music for their physical health and fitness classes.
Okay.
And I observed that having music at the background actually excites the students to actually want to perform the exercises. Because I can imagine without the music, and it's just maybe the teacher's whistles or the teacher's commanding, it will feel very regimental and can be very demotivating.
Yes.
On top of that, in another school that I visited, they actually suggested using music during running, because it actually controls, it can actually, okay, not really control, it can influence the pace, the gaits of the students. For example, playing an upbeat music will help them to actually run a little bit faster.
Yes.
And then if you find that kids not able to control their pace, they're running too fast, slowing down the music will actually influence them to actually slow down. And I find this very interesting, and it's something that I will be keen to try during my lessons. Another interesting finding that I encountered during CLDC was the idea of competitions. Competitions can be seen as a negative aspect, where sometimes teachers are too focused on competition. Students might be influenced to thinking that winning is everything. So sometimes I tend to stray away from competitions and not focus too much on it, because I do not want students to only think about winning. But then I learned during CLDC is that there are different formats to competitions. And the format to the competition is important in your lessons, because that is the one that will actually either motivate the students or vice versa. So I find that very interesting, and that's another strategy or approach that I would want to include it in my lessons, because what I observed was that the students were really having a healthy form of competition. They were actually bonding, even though everything was very intense. Even the activities were very intense. So that was that's another thing that I would like to explore, as I said.
Oh, okay. Yes, I agree with you that music actually can motivate people to work out even more intensely, because I think Francis used to share that he read a paper somewhere that when athletes or when people who are working out play music during their training or their workout, they are able to put in 10% more effort into their workout. Yeah, so there are some scientific papers out there that justifies the use of music to help improve the intensity as well as the effort being used during a physical activity itself. Then the second point where you mentioned about competition helping to shape certain behavior or certain values in our students is also very relevant, because your intention is to use competition to help students learn, I think, values during the activity. Yeah, so that they don't see competition as something that is overly competitive, which will in turn get them to, maybe get their emotions riled up. There's this saying that structure shapes behavior, and you rightfully shared that the format of competition can shape behavior as well. And I believe that was probably expertly set up by Daniel from Serangoon Gardens Secondary. Yeah. So he has, I think, many different formats, of competition where, it helps to shape certain desired behavior or competencies that he is trying to develop in his students. Yeah. But I would probably also want to add on a little bit more that it is also the words that we use with our students, the tone that we use on our students, that gives life, to the behavior that is within the format or that is within the structure. Yeah, I agree that format shapes behavior, but how we say things during the activities within the format or within the structure provides the essence on how our learners or our participants actually behave also. Yeah, because I can have the format, but if I get people or learners or participants to participate, and I say it in a way that is cold and clinical, I might get the behavior, but is the student true or the learner truly learning, the intention of developing the competencies and the values that we want our students to have when they graduate? Yeah, so I think both have to come in play. Yeah, so that the development that we want can be seen. Yeah. All right.
I think that's a good sharing. Maybe I would like to add as well. You mentioned about our words matters.
Yeah.
So what I'm understanding is the intention of our words, how we speak to our students, how we speak to the class. It's the one that's driving the behavior, driving the attitude of the kids. Other than that, I think the other one that I just recall is that if I'm not wrong, at Woodlands Secondary School, we were also informed of this thing called the IEP. So similar to the intent of our words, the IEP program is also intentional, where every individual has their own unique program to remain motivated, because not every student starts on the same line. They have different challenges, they have different backgrounds, and as teachers, I learned from Woodlands Secondary is that teachers need to be intentional with how we approach different students, and by doing so, students will actually be willing to participate, especially now that they are secondary school, figuring things out. This soft approach, this soft touch is the one that I feel it's important to reach out to the kids, for them to understand that we hear you, we see you, and we are helping you, we are there for you. So I think that's another thing that is useful for class management or individual management, for example.
Yeah. Well, I mean, totally agree, because it goes back to what we talked about just now, right? We start always by understanding our students. Once we are able to know them well, the 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 activities or the things that we plan for their learning, okay, becomes more effective. Yeah, because I think in today's day and age, it's really hard to have a one size fits all approach.
Yes.
Yeah. So we might need maybe one main approach, but you have maybe two or three smaller approaches that is slightly different from the main approach to cater to a few of the students with probably different learning needs.
Yes.
But yet, all of them are working towards a similar learning objective or a similar learning outcome. Yeah. So I feel, yeah, what you've shared is definitely very relevant.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so last few questions. Looking ahead, right? What are some of your aspirations for yourself as well as for the students under your charge?
For myself as a teacher, some of the few aspirations that I have is to be strong in my pedagogies. At the end of the day, forming relationships is one thing, teaching is one thing, but as teachers, we need to be practitioners of the pedagogies, practitioners of what of the content knowledge that we have. So one of my aspirations is to be strong in my pedagogies in how I teach students, and this does not limit me to a particular pedagogy. It can be any pedagogies, and there's so much that I still have yet to learn and want to learn. So that's one. Secondly, for me will be what's ahead for me is that I would want to be my own unique identity, unique teacher, where students recognize me in a certain way that is good. And this will tie into the next question, where what I aspire my kids to have is that I want them to actually, by the end of P lesson, I want them to know that they have been seen, they are heard, they feel comfortable to approach me for any concerns that they have. So in other words, at the end of the lesson, I want them to feel motivated, motivated to grow in whichever area they want to, maybe skills-wise, maybe social relations with their peers or teachers, or at the end of the day, or maybe values. Maybe they want to grow in values. So that is what I aspire my kids to take away from my lessons.
Okay, if I hear you correctly, right, especially for your students, you want them to develop this sense of belonging in your class, whereby they are not afraid to make mistakes and they can learn whatever skills or competencies that they can to help themselves learn. Yeah, so it's a very developmental, nurturing, safe environment that I can see from what you have just shared. Yeah, and it's a vibrant learning classroom where students are brave to try out the learning activities that are planned for them. And even let's say they feel that the learning activities is not so suitable for them, they are okay to come to you as the teacher. Hey, sir, can I change the activity a little bit to suit our learning needs? Yeah. So this is what I can see from what you have shared lah. And for yourself, you hope to pick up more pedagogy, because I think pedagogy will be like tools for us teachers to be able to
Teach effectively.
Yes, because we can't just remain idealistic
Yes.
on what we want our students to develop at the end of the day. But if we don't have the tools for us to teach effectively, so that our students learn effectively, then whatever beliefs that we have, right, remains a dream lah. In our minds, which is very difficult for us to actually fulfill that dream. So the tools, which is the pedagogies, will help us fulfill our dreams and ideals, for our students.
Yes. I think you hit it on the nail where you mentioned about I want students to approach to me to even tell me if they want to change a certain activity, or I'm even comfortable if students come to me and say, Mr. Khairul, I think the PE lesson is not engaging enough, it's not enough. I'm even comfortable with that, because at the end of the day, we both can agree that the lesson should revolve around the students. It should revolve around their learning, their needs. So if they want it to be more intense, so be it. Tell me about it. I'll try to make it work for you.
Well, if you can actually go to that level where you engage your students to co-create a lesson or co-create a certain part of the lesson within, of course, okay, the learning objectives and lesson outcomes and the syllabus, right? I think your lessons will be fantastic, because the students will be very motivated to do the activities that they have co-created or co-planned together with you, ma. Yeah, and and the reason is because they have a stake in it. They have ownership in their own learning, okay, because they did the planning together with the teacher. Yeah, perhaps you can take a small step to maybe ask the students, for suggestions for one or two small parts of a lesson in future, and see what they can actually suggest to you. Yeah, and maybe try it out together with them.
I definitely want to try it with the secondary school. I mean, in primary school, I actually have some glimpses of it, where I managed to do it with my kids. They are the one who suggest to me, like, for example, hey, let's have this kind of obstacle course, things like that, and I put it into reality, and I tell you not, they are super excited when they see their creation in real life.
Yeah, that's ownership of their own learning, and it's really very motivational. I think we have spoken quite a bit, yeah? Yeah, maybe one last question, Khairul, one last question. So can you share with our audience, okay, what are some words of encouragement that you have for other beginning PE teachers out there who are just starting out their teaching journey?
I think this is a very good question. I mean, we can all be real over here. Myself, as well as my batchmates, we are all very anxious, very nervous to start this secondary school program. After all, we are just beginning teachers, and we were specialized in primary school. So this secondary school movement to this secondary school is a really huge leap of faith, jump for us. So we are really very nervous. We are really very anxious. But one thing that I will advise future teachers or future beginning teachers is that we should not be afraid. We should not be afraid to try. We should not be afraid to make mistakes, because if we are comfortable with our students making mistakes and we want them to make mistakes so that they can learn, then we should also apply the same concept to us. As long as we diligently plan our lessons, we do our basic work, we do not wash our hands over matters. As long as we do our basic work, then I think it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to try, and we should really try as new teachers to try every approach, every strategy, every ideas that we have. Be creative. That's what I will advise the rest.
Well said. Okay, so in all, be brave, keep trying, and make mistakes, because mistakes is the mother of all successes.
Yes.
All right. So anything else would you like to share?
I think one thing to note, I mean, if we are really in a deadlock, I think one thing we should always do is to reach out to our mentors. And I'm not specifically saying to our own internal school mentors. There are all various sources of help. Our lecturers or tutors back in NIE, we even have PESTA to approach to. They have groups like Facebook, Instagram, etc., where we can communicate with them. We can also, like for this case, CLDC, after making the connections, we can even approach seniors like you to actually guide the young ones, the juniors like us. So approach for help.
Yes, yeah. I think you have also hit the nail on the spot when it comes to personal development. When we are at a deadlock, we shouldn't always keep to ourselves, because in order for us, for people to learn, one of the key ways is that we need to have conversations with one another, and reaching out to mentors uh, who are probably more experienced, okay, can definitely help, because the conversations with them will help you glean some useful information to make the necessary adjustments to improve your teaching and learning within your classroom. So, yep, that's about all we have for this episode.
Thanks for having
And
me.
yeah, thank you, Khairul, for being on the episode. I have to thank you. So, if you happen to like this episode, please give a like, share, and subscribe. Okay, so that more teachers can get to see the content. So, with that, we will see you in the next one. Bye bye.